Yo, yo, yo. Oh, man. This is the Uppercut podcast where we hold no punches, and I'm with a living legend right now, Lord Jamar.
Peace.
What's going on, Lord?
I'm great, man. How you, Tiger?
Peace. I'm good. Thank you for pulling up, G's.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, man.
Now, of course, man. I want to go straight to it because we just talked about, hip hop. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess being a guest in hip hop and you gave me an analogy.
Right.
So like I was thinking not to, this is like an over thing, like an Eminem, right? And then you said, you asked me, what if Eminem was born white, but he was just like literally was around black people?
Well, you said that.
Right.
You said that he might have been born out the womb. First of all, I told you I didn't want to talk about this guy.
Right. Yeah. But just the analogy, like
the analogy of I gave you an analogy of what if I was born in an Asian country and I spoke the language. I grew up speaking the language. I could cook the shit out of the food. I knew martial arts and all that. Would I have a say-so in cultural affairs in Asia as it concerned any discipline that I studied over there, just because?
And I feel like yes, I feel like
I lived over there, and I disagreed, and I think, and I said,
probably not. But I said if you're a master at it, and
I said that wouldn't matter if you were a master at it. It still doesn't give me right to go over there and culturally start making dictates and mandates of how the culture that I learned. So for instance, when you're learning something, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a right and a wrong way to do something, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, if I want to be a DJ, I can't just like do whatever I want. I can't spin the record backwards the whole time, right? I gotta fucking let the shit,
Let
when
it
you're
rock.
scratching, there's a certain discipline to it. And I can't just come in and say, nope. We're doing it this way.
So
I'd almost have to learn it the proper way in order to now feel like I could change it. But if I learned it the proper way, why would I want to change it? If I'm a master at it and learned it from the masters, who obviously didn't look like me.
Mm-hmm. But
how then, and this has been going on for a long time before me, how do I just come in now just because I'm good at it and decide the future and direction of how this should go culturally?
But I feel like if it was by the right teacher and by the right mentors and by the right, so
and
for
I
instance,
said that you probably feel that way because you've been Americanized. And I asked you, would people traditionally over there go for that? And everybody else in the room said probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the real.
Right.
And I said, why? Why has certain Asian cultures lasted so long and been so rich and all of that? Is because they didn't allow people to just come in and dictate whatever the case may be, that they kept certain things to themselves and safeguarded certain things. I gave you the example of how Bruce Lee came over here, and he was Asian, but he had a little bit of white in his background. And at first they didn't even want to teach him over there in China. But finally, he got Yip Man to teach him. And once he came over here, they didn't want him to teach Westerners how to, the martial arts of the East. Why not? And they was very tight with him. Why didn't they want that? Because they wanted to preserve it. They didn't want it to get diluted. They didn't want these people to now co-opt it. Which in a way they have. Look at all the martial arts, like these movies now, like movies like
Last Samurai.
no, even
And the Last Samurai is white.
regular movies.
Last
right?
Samurai is white. The Last Samurai is white.
But
And I'm
mainstream
yo,
movies like John Wick, where he's doing martial arts with guns and shit like that. You understand what I'm saying? But this is a white dude doing it, like, you know. And then you got other movies, you know, even in The Matrix, the way he was, you know, it was martial arts.
But
You understand what I'm
right,
saying?
no, I get it. And then so to go back, we're talking about hip hop, right? So a Fat Joe. I don't want to put him in there, but like a Fat Joe. So you're telling me that he has no say in this hip hop thing, in your opinion?
Well, Puerto Rican people was there very early. You see what I'm saying?
They wasn't there when it happened?
They weren't participants in the beginning.
No?
Some of them, no.
No.
This was a Black American art form. Shout out to the movie Microphone Check.
Yeah.
That's out right now, Tariq Nasheed, where they go into this whole thing about the myth that's been put out there for a long time that hip hop came out of Jamaican toasting and that you know, Puerto Ricans invented breakdancing and all that. Those are totally not true. Like, the truth will set you free, and there's nothing wrong with telling the truth. Like, and the truth is, this was a culture that was started by young Black American kids. And if any of these American kids had any kind of Caribbean background or anything like that, in order to be a participant in this hip hop shit, they had to act like a young Black American kid, meaning they had to know the slang. They had to dress a certain way. They had to, you know what I mean?
So that's what I'm saying. And then I think, right. And then Fat Joe said that it's like 50-50.
It was not 50-50. Yeah, and that's already been shown. That's already been debunked. I had people like who really were there in the beginning. Puerto Rican people, Prince Whip, Ruby D, people that were Puerto Rican pioneers. I've been had them on my show. You know what I mean? Godcast on YouTube.
And shout out to Puff too. Shout out to Puff, the best bud. And you know,
I thought you was talking about the other Puff. Oh, no. Thank you. This is what we puffing on now.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, this Puff is nice. That what, marshmallow or some shit?
Yes.
Yeah, that was nice. Thank you. I thought you meant No Diddy for a minute. That's when you said shout out to Puff. I thought we was talking No Diddy here. Yeah, so I already this has already been debunked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even trying to go against anybody. I love Fat Joe. Yeah. I love Puerto Rican people. My niece and nephew are half Puerto Rican. You understand what I'm saying? Copy. So I had mad Puerto Rican girls coming up. You know what I mean? So let's not get it twisted. But at the same time, that doesn't count. That don't count. So it doesn't. So in your eyes, right? Like that. So Fat Joe can't dictate or have a hearsay on how the culture shift or move or how does that right? Fat Joe. So that's what I'm saying. It gets complicated with Puerto Rican people because why? Because, again, they were present from the beginning. A lot of them lived in the same projects that we lived. That's how they were exposed to it. You see what I'm saying? Got it. But this was not something that they came up with. They were there. And then eventually it's like, oh, shit, that's cool. Let me do it too. So, in that regard, we have more respect for Puerto Ricans, I'd say, because like I said, a lot of them lived in the same projects we lived in. But mostly, there were no white people in these projects. Right. Or Asians. Or Indians, or any other, Russians, whoever you want to name, Italians. You know what I mean? Now, there's always an anecdotal story, though. Where I lived in New Rochelle, there was this one Irish fucking family, the McKennas, that lived in the fucking projects with all the black people,
Right.
But at the same time, they didn't try to act black. They was some wild white boys. But I remember them liking rock and roll and all this type of shit. But then the youngest one, maybe he acted a little black. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he still was like with the white boys. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But he did play on a black football squad and all. But that's an anecdotal story. You're not going to find that a lot. That's just
Right.
like,
He was raised, like, I guess.
they was the one.
Right.
And we had a few projects where I came from. And they was the only white family in any of the projects. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not like there was one in each projects. We had like 3 different nice sized projects, in different parts of town. Mm-hmm. They was the only ones. You understand what I'm saying? And this is Nourishell. That's not where hip hop started and all this type of shit.
It's a little
and these guys wasn't doing
top of the Bronx, right?
Yeah, it's just right outside the Bronx. But these guys, these white dudes, wasn't even fucking with hip hop like that. So they can't be. Now they can say, "Oh, I heard it outside my
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right down the block, a couple of blocks.
Because we used to have block parties. I heard it outside my window. They could say that.
Yeah,
but he wasn't a participant. But could this white dude, Mackie McKenna, say that he was present? Yeah, he was present. But so what? Again, me being present, okay, somebody gave the analogy today. You go to a basketball game, right? We would go to the championship. We watched these motherfuckers win the championship. I was there when they won. I don't get a fucking ring. I don't get a trophy. I didn't play. I was just present. See, there's a difference.
That counts too.
It's helpful.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Yes, thank you. It does help.
Yes.
Because with the Knicks, the energy is the 6th player. That's the next player. And I understand that. But at the same time, energy don't get a ring. Right. Energy at the end of the day is not on the roster.
Right.
And when we look at the roster of who's the starting 5 on the Knicks, it doesn't say row A, row B. It doesn't say none of that. Doesn't talk about the people that are present watching. It's talking about the participants. So when we talk about the original participants, all of them was black. And if they and most of the Puerto Ricans, a lot of them back then could pass for black. Like the ones that was fucking with us could pass for black. Like some people used to think I was Puerto Rican back in the days.
Right.
I had the waves and, you know what I mean? Fucking,
light skin.
And so me being a lighter black could be a darker Puerto Rican. You understand what I'm saying?
Got it. Yeah.
But at the same time, they knew I wasn't Puerto Rican. And so when I fuck with Puerto Rican girls, they don't even want to bring me upstairs. Because moms don't, morenos, cocolos, they don't fuck with them like that. Let's keep it real. Traditionally, these were rebels. These were rebels that was fucking with hip hop. If you was Puerto Rican fucking with hip hop, you was a rebel.
Wow.
You was outside of your culture kind of because inside of your culture was merengue and salsa and all of that type of shit. That was some Moreno shit you doing.
Right. And when I was locked up too, there was an old school, old head, right? old timer. And he told me, he's like, yo, I fuck with all races, but the Asians, you one of us, bro. And I'm like, huh? He's like, the Asiatic black man, bro. You don't know about that? And then he really tried to put me on to like a lot of game and how like black people invented a lot of these things in America. And it was just like we invented a lot of things in the world that we don't get credit for. Right, in the world.
You know what I mean? Things come out of us. You know what I mean? We don't come out of things. Like a white person cannot create a black person, no matter how hard they try. Like, you know what I mean? But you can get white people out of black people. You know what I mean?